So the spring of 2015 was like the highlight of my life. I was at school full time. I was still serving at church, and I was a leader in multiple capacities. And I really knew that all areas of my life were aligned to His purpose. And I knew that I was running towards Him. So I started seeing a guy who, he didn't share my core values and beliefs, and I definitely noticed some manipulative tendencies, but it was exciting. I was a kid, I had never really gone out with anybody before, and I thought that, what's the worst that could happen? Within a few months of entering the relationship, it turned into a very abusive relationship, and I felt trapped. I started valuing what he had to say about me over what God had to say about me, being told that I am unlovable. And God's voice just slowly became quieter and quieter and quieter until I just stopped listening altogether. Every time that he hurt me, I remember thinking that God is yelling at him, that God is screaming for him to stop, but he's just not listening. And I knew that even though I wasn't willing to listen to what God had to say about me, I knew that he was still there, and I knew that he was still chasing after me. I knew that he was still calling out to the people in my life to reach out to me, and I knew that he was using those people to continue to be a light and to be love in my life where there was no other love present. So the major turning point in that relationship is that I knew that I could not depend on this man. I knew that he would, at the end of the day, abandon me. The only one I could really depend on was Jesus. I knew that he would have my back. I knew that there was nothing I could do that would cause him to turn from me and him to abandon me. No matter how far I strayed, there was always a home for me to come to. And because I had been rooted in church, I had been rooted in those connections, I still had people who reached out and told me that I am loved. And so the one person that had been consistently reaching out, I reached out to her, and she prayed with me, and she continued to be there with me as I went through prayer counseling and as I continued to heal, and I just continued to lean on Jesus and lean on his strength and lean on his love and his grace and his mercy and his hope everlasting. In the season of overcoming and after I left the relationship, one verse really stood out to me time and time again. It's Philippians 4:12-13. Reads, "I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it be with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little. For I can do everything through Christ, who gives me strength." I didn't have to be good enough. I didn't have to look a certain way. I didn't have to act a certain way. I didn't even have to love myself in a certain way yet, because he would make up for all of that with his strength. And so that is the strength that I learned to lean on. I know that all of the hurt, the pain, the trauma that I went through, I'm on the other side now so that I can help others, so that my story can change others. In light of everything that happened, Jesus is my hope. He is my greatest love. I find my identity in him.